G-Roll Electronic Productions, baby.
Welcome. I'm JJ, your local neighborhood psychotherapist. We're gonna cover some headlines today. It's been a while since I've been live, so let me make sure I got everything straight here. All right, let's go ahead and get started. The main news, which I'm going to cover right now, one of the main things is something that Trump was so prophetic about, is what he said during the 2020 debates. So let me pull that up. All right. It's from the Daily Wire. Trump said if he's elected, the stock market, what he's talking about, if Biden was elected, the stock market will crash. And Trump's 2020 warning about Biden comes true. And this is something that I echoed as well. I said this, but I mean, we already know, we knew Biden from his 50 years of being in office, what he was going to do, his terrible policy ideas and all that other stuff. And so we knew that this was going to happen. If he get elected, what was going to happen. But a clip of former President Donald Trump arguing that the election of President Joe Biden would lead to a plummeting stock market circulating on Friday after Wall Street saw a bloodbath. And if you don't know, the stock market tanked on Friday. It was really, really bad. The Federal Reserve increased targets for the federal funds rate by 0.75% on Wednesday afternoon, sending the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which tracked 30 of the most prominent companies on American exchanges, tumbling more than 500 points. Excuse me a second. A little frog in my throat there. After stagnating on Thursday, the index fell more than 500 points by early Friday afternoon to 29,400. On January 20th, 2021, the day of Biden's inauguration, the Dow Jones had closed slightly above 30,900. Quote, "They said the stock market will boom if I'm elected," Trump said during the 2020 presidential debate. If he's elected, the stock market will crash. So let's check this out really quick.
Mr. President, I have to move on to the next question.
They said the stock market will boom if I'm elected. If he's elected, the stock market will crash.
Okay, let's move on to the next question very quickly.
Look,
So very, very prophetic. According to the conservative polling group Interactive Polls, which posted the clip from the debate to social media, the tech-savvy NASDAQ has risen 44% once Trump was 612 days into his first term. And the same point in Biden's tenure, however, the index had fallen more than 19%. This is crazy. This is big. And, of course, the mainstream media is not going to talk about this. Indeed, the United States economy have languished over the past 2 years under multiple disruptions, including labor shortages, supply chain bottlenecks, and a lot of the supply chain stuff is Biden's own doing, and the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Again, this is some of Biden's own doing because we're actually he's tapping into our reserves and changing some of the policies about getting our own oil and stuff. We're no longer oil is not a priority in his administration like it was under Trump, and all of which have contributed to the worsening inflationary pressures. Price levels between August 2021 and August 22 rose 8.3%, according to data from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, marking a slight moderation from an 8.5% year-over-year increase in July and 9.1% year-over-year increase in June. Despite the moderation in year-over-year inflation, month-to-month prices for food, shelter, and medical services ticked upward. All that stuff. To the main point is, everyone knows, unless you're hiding under a rock or you're just lying to yourself. Everyone knows that the economy is in dire straits right now. Food prices are going up like crazy. Gas prices are still high, even though he bragged about $2.99 gas, which the White House had to come out and change, and they said no, the average is actually $3.99, which is still way up from when Trump was in office, and they acting like that's a good thing. So these people are destroying the economy. The confidence in the government is at an all-time low, and it's going to get worse. So hopefully we can get Biden and his ilk out of office. Craziness. All right, let's talk about this, and this also go along with the economy and Broadway shows, including Phantom closing, as well as New York City crime, Bidenflation wreak havoc. And crime in New York is really, really bad. It's some of the worst it's been in years. And people, it's because people can't afford to buy things, so criminals are going to go out, they're going to steal, they're going to rob, they're going to kill, they're going to do all this stuff. It's really, really bad in New York right now. Broadway shows, including the Phantom of the Opera, have posted closing notices as tourism has failed to come back in New York City in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. And I think, again, a lot of it has to do with crime. Everyone sees what's going on in New York right now. People are getting robbed in broad daylight, getting killed in broad daylight. Tourists aren't safe. People don't feel safe. And people aren't going to visit if they don't feel safe. As simple as that. The Democrat-controlled city is currently in the midst of a violent crime surge fueled by spikes in robberies, shootings, assaults, and the R word that has kept many visitors away. Shows are also experiencing soaring costs due to record high inflation caused by President Joe Biden. In addition to Phantom, other shows that are closing or have recently closed include the musical Beetlejuice, Come From Away, and Dear Evan Hansen. Never heard of that last one. Phantom, which is the longest running show in Broadway history, recently announced that it will close its doors in February after 35 years and more than 13,000 performances. In an interview, the New York Times producer Cameron McIntosh blamed falling ticket sales as well as inflation, saying the weekly cost of running the show has hit $950,000, an increase of about $100,000 from the pre-pandemic years. So all across the board, Biden is ruining this country. Even people that like to go to these Broadway shows can't afford it right now. And I'm not really big on Broadway shows, but it's sad that even this industry is hurting right now under Biden. But people are still going to vote for the Democrats, though. That's what I don't understand. People are still going to vote for these Democrat politicians that's actually ruining our economy, ruining our great country. And then they go out and act like everything is fine. They're gaslighting people like everything is fine. Speaking of that, speaking of the gaslighting, let me see if I can pull it up here. With Donna Brazile. Let's see. Here we go. With Donna Brazile here. Speaking of gaslighting, you can't make this stuff up. These people are horrible people. They lie and gaslight you. ABC's Donna Brazile, she said Biden has done a fabulous job on the economy. What are you talking about? What is she talking about? Has she spent any time talking to people on the ground, or is she just living in her bubble, or is she just flat out lying? I wonder which one it is. On Sundays this week on ABC, chief anchor George Stephanopoulos reported on his network's devastating new poll for President Joe Biden and Democrats in the upcoming 2022 midterm election. Despite the ABC Washington Post, now these are two liberal organizations, ABC Washington Post, so the people that are being polled more than likely are people from the left, people that are Democrats, people that are leftists. And even their poll is showing just 36% of registered voters approving of his job performance. ABC contributor and former Democratic National Committee Chairman Donna Brazile claimed Joe Biden has really done a fabulous job. And mind you, this is the same Donna Brazile that worked for CNN But during the debate, she gave the questions to Hillary Clinton, so Hillary Clinton knew the questions ahead of time. So anything that she said is to be taken with a grain of salt in any way, because we know that she lied. We know that she can't be trusted. We know that she's a cheat in the first place. So of course she's gonna make this stuff up. Kicking off the Powerhouse Roundtable segment, Stephanopoulos turned to former New Jersey Republican Governor Chris Christie, who made clear how bad the polls are looking for congressional Democrats. Quote, President at 36 on his approval rating, 21 underwater. That's 74% of people in the poll said the economy is bad, Christie noted, adding that the poor economy is, quote, the top issue to 84% of the people. Christie then recalled talking to a local farmer who told him that, quote, since Biden got into office, his diesel fuel costs are up 222% on his farm, and his nitrogen costs are up 262%. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. We haven't even seen this yet. How high the price is going to go. I think right around Christmas time, Thanksgiving time, is when we're really going to see the price of food really shoot up. But let's take a look what Donna Brazile said.
Numbers that I looked at, George, was the president at 36 on his approval rating, 21 points underwater. That 74% of the people in the poll said the economy is bad. That's they characterize it. And that it's the top issue to 84% of the people. That's all bad news for the Democrats in that poll. And I will tell you, I was talking to a family farmer this week, just to put what we have to look forward to. He said since Biden got into office, his diesel fuel costs are up 222% on his farm, and his nitrogen costs are up 262%. That's not only bad for them and their ability to make money, but worse, it's going to hit us in supermarkets all over this country. This is hardly over.
That's what I was saying. Come Thanksgiving, we got, what is it? It's September, the end of September, October, November. 2 months until the Thanksgiving holiday comes, and then we got Christmas and all that other stuff. The price of food is going to be crazy. I'm trying to warn people now. You might want to start buying stuff now and sticking it in a deep freezer if you got a freezer, because I know that the price of food come Thanksgiving is going to be super expensive.
And that's what these numbers are telling. People are feeling that, and they're going to vote that way, and that's not good for the Democrats.
Is there any argument that Democrats can make?
Really quick, Blythe the U.S. said, I never get a poll. That's true. I don't think I've ever been polled before. Nothing that comes to in recent memory. I don't think I've ever been polled when it comes to these things. All right, let's continue on with the rest of this. See what Donna Brazile has to say. How Donna Brazile is going to gaslight us.
That will make inflation not the top issue on voters' minds as they go to the polls.
I mean, look, I think Democrats understand that the stakes are high. This is a consequential midterm, and we know we have to defy history. That being said, look at the alternative. What are the Republicans planning to do to harm you, to harm the economy? Joe Biden.
You see this? You see how she played this? She said how Republicans are going to harm you or harm the economy. We saw what happened under Trump. We were booming. We had a booming economy. So what is she talking about? She's gaslighting. We're talking about what the Democrats are doing right now. What President Joe Biden is doing right now. And they're not helping. We are in a worse off place than we were under Trump. And everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. Just look at her. Look at her face. She don't even believe the crap that she's saying.
Biden has really done a fabulous job, I think, in making sure that everyday Americans can feel the things that he's doing, whether it's lowering gas prices, making sure that our supply chain is not
lowering gas prices. Gas is still high. What are you talking about? And the supply chain is still bad, and it's going to get worse come the holiday season.
Moving forward, he just stopped a rail strike, which really would have crippled our economy. So look, we know we have a big job to do in motivating people to get out to vote, but most importantly, Joe Biden is playing the long game. That's why I'm still with Joe Biden. I'm riding with Biden, baby.
Wow, she is ridiculous. She says she's rocking with Biden, baby. Now this is typical of your leftists. The leftists, and you see a lot of the black female feminists, older female feminists, they're Democrats and they feel this way. You can slap them in the face with reality, but they still, what she said, I'm still rocking with Biden, baby. And that's how the majority of these older black women feel. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, so let's see where are we gonna go to next? Where are we gonna go to next? Yeah, why not? Let's talk about Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi, she got booed at a progressive global citizen concert in New York City. Even her own people, even her own leftists don't like her, which makes me wonder, how is she still in office? I don't get it. I don't understand. Well, more than 60,000 people were excited to see popular bands perform at the Global Citizen Music Festival in New York City on Saturday night. However, many in the crowd did not provide a warm welcome to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who they booed. The Global Citizen Organization attempts to engage people to help end extreme poverty, fight climate change, and rid the world of systematic racial, ethnic, gender, sexual, all the usual leftist crap that they talk about that really doesn't mean anything. But tickets to the Global Citizen Music Festival are provided to individuals who participate in approved acts of activism. So let me see if they got it. Yeah, here's the video. Let's watch the video of her getting booed here.
I couldn't talk about
As Speaker of the House, I am here to thank you for your dedication.
Nancy Pelosi.
Why
is everybody booing?
I think there's a better one here. It's a better one here.
40% by 2030, it will give a historic 370.
Yeah, and that's her own people. So even her own leftist people don't like her. So it makes you wonder, how is someone like her ilk is still in office. All right, let's talk about this. 25 FBI agents with guns drawn reportedly raid pro-life activist home, to the horror of his family. He faces 11 years for pushing a man outside an abortion clinic. This is crazy. You push someone, and we'll get into why he pushed the guy, but you push someone and then you got 25 agents at your door. Remind you, it also came out from whistleblowers that FBI agents are being pulled from cases such as sexual abuse with children. They're being pulled from these cases and being put to go after people that voted for Trump or people that are on the right. That's the Biden FBI. So let's talk about this crazy news here. A pro-life activist and author had his home raided by as many as 30 FBI agents with guns drawn, according to his wife. The sidewalk counselor and father of 7 now faces up to 11 years in federal prison for allegedly pushing a man to the ground outside an abortion clinic in Pennsylvania nearly a year ago. The pro-abortion man allegedly harassed the Christian man's young son. And I got to tell you, if you harass my family, I'm coming for you. So I get it. I would have pushed him, at least pushed the guy. So imagine this happening. You're outside, you're doing your protest thing, you're a sidewalk counselor, whatever that may mean. You're a sidewalk counselor, and you're out there preaching and talking to people, and this guy coming to cost your child. And you defending your child. You push the guy to the ground. That's it. You don't hit him. You don't beat the crap out of him like I probably would have done or anything like that. You just push him to the ground. A year later, 25 to 30 FBI agents come knocking down your door. Make this make sense. This is Biden's America. This is Biden's America. Mark Hoke, I'm not sure if I pronounced his name right, but is a Catholic author, lecturer, radio host, and co-founder of the King's Men, a club for men, quote, to unite and build up other men in the mode of leader, protector, and provider through education, formation, healing, and action. On October 13, 2021, Hoke allegedly went to sidewalk counsel at the Planned Parenthood Elizabeth Blackwell Health Center in Philadelphia. He brought his eldest son with him, who was 12 years old at the time. So he's not even a teenager yet. An abortion clinic volunteer named Bruce Love and Hawk allegedly got into an altercation outside the Planned Parenthood clinic. Hawk's wife claimed that her husband was on the sidewalk of the abortion clinic and not the property of Planned Parenthood. Hawk's wife, Ryan Marie Hawk, told LifeSite News, quote, For weeks and weeks, a pro-abortion protester would speak to the boys saying crude, inappropriate, and disgusting things such as "your dad's a F word" and other statements that were too vulgar for her to convey. Now, mind you, these are leftists, right? They're supposed to be so tolerant and all this other stuff, and they call people the F word. So this proves that they are the most racist, most intolerant people, is people on the left. But Hawk's wife claimed that Love got into, quote, the son's personal space and refused to stop saying crude, inappropriate, and disgusting comments at the father and son. Mark Hawk shoved him away from his child, and the guy fell back and he hit the ground. Hawk allegedly pushed the pro-abortion man to the ground outside the Planned Parenthood clinic a second time. Love, a 72-year-old volunteer escort at the abortion clinic, reportedly suffered injuries that required medical attention. Police were called, but Hawk was reportedly not charged because there was a lack of evidence of the assault. Ryan Marie Hawk claimed that Love tried to sue Mark, but the case was thrown out of the courts this summer. So all this, he wasn't charged. They tried to sue. It was thrown out of court. And then you get 25 to 30 FBI agents at your house a year later. Around 7:05 a.m. on Friday, the Hawk home was reportedly raided by 25 to 30 FBI agents and 15 government vehicles surrounded the house. Ryan Marie Hawk said the FBI agents had their guns drawn and they started pounding on the door and yelling for us to open it. Mark Hawk allegedly told FBI agents, "Please, I'm going to open the door, but please, my children are in the home. I have 7 babies in the house." When the front door was open, Ryan Marie said they had a big, huge rifle pointed at Mark and pointed at me and kind of pointed throughout the house. The kids were all just screaming, she said. It was all just very scary and traumatic. This is crazy. This is the FBI coming to regular people's houses. When you got all this corruption in the government, you got all this stuff going on with sexual abuse of children, we still don't know what the people that met with Epstein and all this other stuff, and they worried about a street counselor pushing a guy to the ground for accosting his child. Come on, this is the FBI. That's why I say the FBI needs to be disbanded. They need to go. Houch was arrested and taken away. President Joe Biden Department of Justice charged Hawk with the violation of freedom of access to a clinic. Now, mind you, they said they were not even on the property of Planned Parenthood. Everyone knows when you go protest these type of clinics, you do not get on their property. You could be on the sidewalk or across the street, but you do not get on the property. And they said that they weren't even on the property. So how can he be charged with this? The FACE Act prohibits, quote, force or threat or force by physical obstruction, intentionally injures, intimidates, or interferes with or attempt to injure, intimidate, or interfere with any person because that person is or has been in order to intimidate such person or any other person or any class of persons from obtaining or providing reproductive health services. I've never even heard of this, but it sounds like they didn't even do this. Hawk, 48, faces a maximum sentence of 11 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, and fines up to $350,000 because he pushed the guy that wasn't even on the property that was accosting his son. U.S. Attorney Jacqueline C. Romeo said assault is always a serious offense, and under FACE Act, if the victim is targeted because of their association with reproductive health, is a federal crime. This is ridiculous. Like the FBI don't have anything else better than to go after a guy and his family because this is really infuriating. This is really infuriating. I hope that people will stand up for this. They got to get a Give, Send, Go here to help raise funds. And I hope he fight the federal government because this is ridiculous. This is total ridiculousness. Crazy. So let's see what else we got here. Let's go with Jean-Pierre here. She's the worst. She has to be the worst. At least the last spokesperson. She was good at what she did. I give it to her. Jen Psaki, even though I didn't like her, and she was always, it's her job to cape for President Joe Biden, so I get it. And she did a pretty good job. But Jean-Pierre is one of the worst ever, and she's one of these people that put in there because she's a person of color. She's a lesbian. She checked all the marks. It has nothing to do with merit because she's terrible at this job. So watch Jean-Pierre. Watch Karine Jean-Pierre completely dodge Peter Doocy very simple question about abortion for 2 straight minutes. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre refused to answer a very simple question about abortion from Peter Doocy. Instead of answering the question, she spent 2 minutes deflecting and attacking Republicans. During Friday's White House press conference, Doocy simply asked Jean-Pierre, quote, does President Biden favor any limits on abortion? Simple question. Simple yes or no. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. Instead of answering the straightforward question, Jean-Pierre berated Republicans for their stance on abortion, which are already known. So let me just go ahead and play the video here. All right, here we go. Let's play the video.
Thanks, Green. Following up on your topper, does President Biden favor any limits on abortion?
We've been very, very clear here. Since you're talking about my topper, I was talking specifically about Senator Lindsey Graham.
And your position on his plan is clear. 15 weeks is unacceptable.
I was speaking directly to what Republicans are trying to do.
So
they are calling for a national ban, which takes us backwards. Which will weeks, right? It's a national ban which will take us backwards and will put at risk the health of women. And here's the thing about this, Peter, it's not just national ban on abortion. We're talking about privacy, we're talking about contraception, we're talking about marriage. That is what extreme Republican officials are trying to do. That's what we're speaking to. I'm not going to get into specifics here. I'm just going to lay out what they have said that they're going to do.
Why not get into specifics? The Republicans are saying we don't want abortion after 15 weeks. Why can't you say how many weeks a president thinks the limit
as
should
you know, Kevin McCarthy put out the GOP agenda.
I'm not asking about Kevin McCarthy. I'm asking about Joe Biden and his position on abortion. How many weeks?
Peter, I'm answering your question. What Republicans are...
She is not answering the question. It was a simple yes or no question, and she refuses to say yes or no.
Trying to do is take us backwards. They're trying to take away the rights and freedoms of Americans. That's what we're calling out, and that's what we're going to continue to call out. House Republicans oppose a pharmacy bill that would deny women essential medications. As of September, 166 House Republicans have signed onto a heartbeat bill that would decide abortion at the federal level, even though 28 of those members have since said decisions on abortion should be left to the state. And this week, a Michigan GOP official said he wants to ban contraception. So we should really listen to what Republicans are trying to tell us. And that's what we are speaking out against, and that's what we're going to talk about the national ban that Republicans are continuing to push when majority of Americans do not want that.
We are all covering the Republican plan. I'm just, why can't you say how many weeks for Biden?
No, go ahead. I answered your question. Go ahead.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Why can't you say?
Go ahead, Courtney.
I wanted to ask you.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And she's using the talking point with the national ban because of Lindsey Graham, Rhino Lindsey Graham. He's doing the whole national ban thing to throw a monkey wrench in the Republicans for the 2020 midterms. And Lindsey Graham knew he was doing with this. When everyone says it's a states' rights issue, it's a state rights issue. So Lindsey Graham was like, you know what? Let me try to make this a national thing, so the Democrats can have something to run with for the 2020 midterms. And Lindsey Graham is despicable. Lindsey Graham is despicable because he really don't believe in this national ban thing, and he know that he wouldn't pass anyway. If we were to do something like this, we would have to. The Republicans would have to take over Congress. So he doing this on purpose because even though it's despicable. It's despicable. Lindsey Graham know what he's doing with this. I'll talk about Jen Psaki. Speaking of Jen Psaki, I did bring her up earlier. Jen Psaki says Democrats know they will lose if midterms are a referendum on President Biden. Everyone knows this. Donna Brazile knows it, even though she pretends like she don't. But at least Jen Psaki admitting what we already know. Jen Psaki says the Democratic Party knows they will lose Hold on, let me close.
Yeah, I think that Democrats.
Well, I might as well just go ahead and play it really quick. Let's play it really quick.
I think that Democrats, if the election is about who is the most extreme, as we saw, Kevin McCarthy touch on there with Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'll say her name, sitting over his left side, then they're going to win. If it is a referendum on the president, they will lose, and they know that. They also know that crime is a huge vulnerability for Democrats. I would say one of the biggest vulnerabilities. And if you look at Pennsylvania, for example, what's been interesting to me is it's always you follow the money and where are people spending money. And in Pennsylvania, the Republicans have been spending millions of dollars on the air on crime ads against Fetterman because that's where they see his vulnerability. So yes, the economy is hanging over everything, but you do have to look at state by state factors, and crime is a huge issue in the Pennsylvania race.
And that's true. I can't believe she's being honest for once, and I agree with everything that she just said. She added that Democrats also know that they are vulnerable when it comes to crime. Psaki said Republicans were throwing a lot of money behind ads focusing on crime in Pennsylvania. Later in the episode, Todd asked Psaki about being in the White House and about how Biden and others purposefully did not say former President Donald Trump's name. Quote, "You don't say their names. It's like Beetlejuice. Somehow it won't show up if you don't say their name." Now he leans into it more. Why, Todd asked. Psaki said that while she didn't work for Biden campaign, Biden ran aggressively on the claim that Trump wasn't fit for office. Pot calling the kettle here. She added that there was a strategic decision made when he came to office, and that was no longer what the public wanted. I think he's actually talking about Trump and stuff now because it's the only thing that he got left. He can't run off of policy. He can't run off the economy. He can't run off of crime. Most of the stuff that people care about right now, he can't run off it. So the only thing that he has left is to attack Trump and to attack MAGA people and to attack Republicans. That's really the only thing that he has left. That's the reason why all of a sudden he's talking about Trump and stuff now. All right, let's talk about this interesting news here. We got to be careful because we know how the overlords are. But Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla tests positive for the stupids for a second time in less than 2 months. Now, he is the actual CEO, and supposedly he got the stickums. And remember, he was one of the main people that came out to say, well, if you get... Oops, hold on a second. Let me turn this off. Sorry about that. He was one of the main people that said if you get these sticks, that everything will be fine. You won't be hospitalized. You won't get it anymore. It's better than immunity and all. He was one of the main people that was saying this stuff. So how does he, someone that's the actual CEO, the chairman, keep getting it? So Pfizer CEO and chairman and CEO Albert Bourla on Saturday said that he tested positive for the stupids for the second time in less than 2 months. Bourla, who heads the company that helped to create the widely used Pfizer BioNTech stupid jab, said he was feeling well and symptom-free. Quote, "I have not had the new bivalent booster yet, as I was following CDC guidelines to wait 3 months since my previous stupid case, which was back in mid-August," Bourla said. "While we've made great progress, the virus is still with us," he added. He previously announced on August 14th that he tested positive for the virus and was experiencing mild symptoms. Quote, "As we head into fall and begin to spend more time indoors, we strongly encourage anyone who is eligible to consider receiving a booster dose with Vibrant Stupid 19 to provide better protection against current circulating variants," FDA Commissioner Robert Khalif said in a statement at the time. The shots, which the FDA is referring to as updated boosters, contain 2 messenger RNA, mRNA components and SARS-CoV-2 virus, one of the original strains. But the thing is, It's not working. Everyone knows it's not working. That's why the majority of Americans, I posted on my Instagram, you can check that news out, that a majority of Americans, I think 98% of the people that already got jabbed aren't getting the booster jab because they know what's going on. People are waking up to it. You can only hide the reactions and the deaths. You can only hide it but so much before people are actually waking up to this stuff. So check out my Instagram where I post news like this throughout the day. All right. Now let's talk about this. Democrats see red after latest major poll flips the narrative. As an election watcher, the last several months have been mind-numbing to live through. Despite every historical fundamental pointing to a Republican win in November, the prominent narrative has been that Democrats are resurgent due to Dobbs. Election modelers have even started adding scam-packed polls into their average just to toss an extra bit of absurdity to it. Let me enlarge this a little bit so I can read it a little better. I'm blind. And you got people like what's his name? Moore. I can't remember his first name. What's the name? Moore. He was on Bill Maher, and he said like he's saying that the Democrats are gonna win and all this other stuff, and they're again more gaslighting. But it's truly been garbage in, garbage out, as most major pollsters continue to use registered voter screens instead of likely voter screens, something that leads to a projection of positive Democrat environment. See, they playing with the statistics here. So what's the narrative? You are supposed to believe that the sizable GOP turnout advantage during the primaries won't translate into general election, even though that's exactly what turnout advantage did in 2010, 2014, and 2018. You're also supposed to believe that the presidential approval simply doesn't matter anymore, even though it's mattered in every midterm going back decades. In short, everything you know about elections and how politics works, you're supposed to ignore because Pollster Inc. Put out a registered voter survey saying the electorate will be D+8. That's ridiculous. No one believes it's D+8. But as I said back during the summer, once major pollsters switch to likely voter screens, the narrative is going to change. Lastly, it should be mentioned that we haven't even seen the major pollsters switch to likely voter screens yet, because enthusiasm is high for Republicans, and as evidenced by comparisons of primary turnout, likely voter screens should further shift these results towards the GOP, and they have historically done so. Sure enough, ABC Washington poll is out, and I just covered that poll a little while ago. Its first major offering of the season, and it's Democrats seeing red and suddenly not liking polls again. Republicans lead Democrats on the generic ballot by a whopping 5 points. Joe Biden approval sits at just 39. I've seen some as low as 36. And here you go. Here's the poll here. It will show Republicans 51%, Democrats 41%. That sound you hear is the shrieking from the left as they realize the polls they've fallen in love with are going to do what they always do in the weeks before an election, namely tighten towards the party that is out of power as likely voter screens become more prevalent. They can't say, I didn't warn you. I didn't warn them, though. And again, and another thing to factor in is these polls is the more that Republicans and the more that MAGA people are being demonized, the more they're not going to tell the truth when it comes to these polls too. So you have to factor that in as well. Is that? So that is that. Now let's talk about some really crazy news that happened. I read this a few days ago. I might have posted it to Instagram. I'm not sure. I post so much news throughout the days, and I read so much news. It's hard for me to remember what I posted and what I didn't. So USPS used online surveillance to spy on protesters. Now this is some corrupt stuff. They're using the Postal Service to do this. The U.S. Postal Service surveilled protesters across the country, according to a heavily redacted document obtained by Patrick Eddington, a senior fellow at Cato Institute, through a Freedom of Information Act request. According to the records, between September 2020 and April 2021, postal inspectors spied on protesters, including through a covert social media surveillance program dubbed the Internet Covert Operations Program. ICOP. That's funny. But not funny at the same time. The inspectors spied on conservative groups that marched to D.C. following President Biden's election. Protests in Louisville, Kentucky followed an investigation into the death of Breonna Taylor at hands of police, and gun rights activists in Richmond, Virginia. According to Eddington, the records show the extent of the USPS surveillance efforts, which are capable of reaching every business and home in the U.S. The Postal Service cannot reliably deliver mail to my home, yet they can find the money and people to effectively digitally spy at scale, including on Americans engaged in First Amendment protected activities. Just more corruption. What is more corruption? So the FBI gonna kick down your door. The Postal Service is gonna spy on you. All these government entities are doing everything they can to deter you. I mean, this is corruption on the highest scale. I mean, you can't even trust the Postal Service. But one of the documents Eddington obtained was a redacted situational awareness bulletin from a social media analyst in 2020 that said that Louisville was in a state of emergency, anticipating the state's investigation into Taylor's death. The social media surveillance program also concluded that a Million MAGA march would cause traffic jams in D.C., Virginia, and Maryland. Most of the bulletins by the postal inspectors include disclaimers that the reports are not supposed to violate human rights. The intention is to make law enforcement aware of potential criminal activity and violence. So how is the Postal Service charged with this? I don't understand that. Make this make sense, please. All right, so that's the USPS. This is the last one I'm gonna cover, and maybe I'll go over some videos as well. So if you give me, I'll go over this, and if you give me a minute, I'll pull up some videos here. Oh, this is something I already covered. Yeah. Have I covered this one? Yeah, I covered this one already. So let's go over some videos. Let me see if I can pull up my handy dandy pocket. This is how I keep track of all my news, all my articles that I think are important. I save them to Pocket, which is a really, really great service. I love Pocket. Let me see. Here we go. It's Grabbian News. So what I'll do is I'll play this, and then it'll be more videos that come after this one automatically, and we'll cover each of these. All right, so Newt Gingrich, awesome, good on Newt Gingrich, and the left is trying to attack him for what he said, but I agree. I mean, if you keep asking someone the same question over and over again, even though they answered, I will feel some type of way as well. So let's check this out.
Blueprint for government.
What do you think about the January 6th committee?
I don't.
You have no thoughts about the committee itself?
Your top 3 issues that will drive voters.
I think you have a learning disability. The fact is, I've said to you 3 or 4 times, I don't talk about it. You don't seem to try the phrase, I don't talk about it. Go ahead.
Your top 3.
And the left went crazy because he said that. But I would be frustrated and upset too if you keep asking me the same question over and over again that I already answered. All right. So let's see what's going on with this one.
And now we have 2 vaccines that are really quite effective. The mRNA vaccine. So
this is Twitter user video showing the shifting narrative in the jab efficacy, and this is another thing that I have pointed out since the pandemic is how the stuff keeps switching, keep changing. But when I go with recent studies and I post something or talk about something in recent studies, I will get a YouTube strike. But it's okay for them to keep shifting the narrative. This is crazy.
highly effective, extraordinarily efficacious, 94 to 95% for mild to moderate disease, and virtually 100% efficacious, because the real
100, he said 94% with mild symptoms and 100% for extreme, which is totally untrue. Totally untrue.
World effectiveness is even more impressive than the results of the clinical trial.
Look at all that. Look at all that. Highly effective. Highly effective. Look at all that. Nonsense. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100% effective in children. 100% they say. This is crazy. So you get the point there.
Come on, man.
Well, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen on social media. I'm waiting for those warning signs for misinformation labeling, because this was a flat out.
And I covered this. I can't remember if I've done a video on it or, again, something that I posted on my Instagram or something like that. But no, I think I did a video on it. This is ridiculous that she said there's no heartbeat. Totally anti-science. And then you got Planned Parenthood coming out. I did cover that. Planned Parenthood coming out and changing their website to take away the heartbeat, just so they can line up with what Abrams and the rest of the left is saying. And they called me anti-science. This is nuts.
Out lie. And facts matter, especially when you're talking to people, and especially when you're in politics and you're wanting people's votes. Unfortunately, people are going to believe what she has to say, but I'm going to just deliver the truth and point out her law is a complete lie. So at about 3 weeks after gestation or after conception, the heart, the cells of the heart, the myocardium, starts to rhythmically contract. So really, the heart starts beating at 3 weeks. Yes, you can start seeing the heart. 3 weeks. This is a doctor. Stacey Abrams is not a doctor. So who are you going to listen to here? Heartbeat 5 to 6 weeks after conception on the ultrasound. But that's only because it's so small and because of all the other structures are in the way with the pelvis. But that heart is contracting very easy. Early on, it is not a conspiracy. It is not anything to do with what she's talking about. And I think that she needs to be held accountable for the lies that are coming out of her mouth. Yes, absolutely. I guess she's thinking that people are beatboxing the beatboxing the heart or something. I don't know. All right, this is January 6th committee advisor says someone in the White House phoned a rioter during the Capitol attack. Let's see what he says here. Let's see.
Did it hit you at one point that this is way bigger than it appeared in the beginning?
Absolutely. You get a real aha moment when you see that the White House switchboard had connected to a rioter's phone while it's happening. That's a pretty big aha moment. You get an aha.
Wait a minute. Someone in the White House was called.
This is all bullcrap. This is all bullcrap. Everyone knows that this is bullcrap.
Probably not.
Right. Well, this is coming when, there's all of this wealth, and you hear about it comes as England is facing rising costs of living, a living crisis, austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then I saw this, so this is great. This is great. This is what happened when you don't know history. You make dumb statements like this idiot here, and then you have to be checked because what she say is totally 100% accurate. I saw this video already, so let's watch what she says about reparations and stuff. You have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, $500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa, and when across the entire world, when the slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery.
That is a fact. That is a historical fact. And this is what happened. You end up looking like an idiot Don Lemon when you don't know history.
2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages. Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think.
And that is fact. They don't say anything about the African kings and stuff that were loading these people up and having them waiting in cages for the ships to come and pick these people up. They were doing it to their own people. Like, and no one talks about that. No one talks about that when it comes to slavery.
At the same time.
It's an interesting discussion, Hillary. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No retort. No retort. This is what happened when you don't know history.
We'll continue to discuss in the future. So remember the impact of the supply chain crisis on the economy during.
Right, Democrats are losing Latino voters for countless reasons.
All right, Monica Crowley calls DeSantis Martha's Vineyard stunt a delicious twist. Let's see.
And now more by the day. Monica Crowley is the former Assistant Treasury Secretary, and she joins me now. So, Monica, the migrants in the military camp in Massachusetts, they're mad at the Democrats. They wanted to stay on Martha's Vineyard. They're angry because they were deported.
Yeah, they wanted to stay. It's beautiful country there. And of course, the elites don't want them there. They are some of the most racist people, but they pretend, they feign that they care. Oh, I want to give money. But when it comes down to it, keep these undesirables away from me. That's basically what the Martha's Vineyard people are saying.
Can you blame them?
Isn't it a delicious twist in this entire story, Jesse, that the illegal immigrants who came into the country illegally broke our law to get here and then were transported by Governor DeSantis out of Florida, which is not a sanctuary state, to the beautiful island of Martha's Vineyard? They quite liked it there, and I can't blame them. The vineyard is gorgeous, especially this time of year. I actually think, Jesse, that Governor DeSantis was incredibly thoughtful in moving those illegals to Martha's Vineyard at the peak of fall foliage season so that they could really enjoy the fall season out there.
Yes. Hilarious. I love it. And it shows their hypocrisy. It shows their hypocrisy. And that's one of the main reasons why I cover this news and I cover the left, because I love pointing to their hypocrisy, because it abounds. There's so much hypocrisy in everything they do.
Of course, they're coming here in many cases to yeah, exactly. Look, they all say, look, we're coming here to work, but there is a process, a legal process for them in order to do that. And they chose a different path, a very dangerous path, but an illegal path that is causing tremendous economic and cultural strain on this country. This is what the Biden administration is doing, Jesse, is a catastrophic attack on the American people and on the nation.
There's no one that said you're...
This is Melissa Francis reveals shocking story of being fired from Fox News through teleprompter. It's pretty funny. But I'm going to skip this one. It's kind of long. It's like 11 minutes long. So I'll skip this one.
It happened that they just wanted to get rid of you, and they didn't give a damn how much it took to do it.
Megyn Kelly's just bitter.
Took to social media this week, baiting the promise of a political...
Let's see. Carrie Lake bombshell backfires as Arizona media questions if false claims show she doesn't understand how bills become laws. I think she addressed this. I'm going to skip this as well. This might be the last one I try.
In the news from Dennis Welch, Arizona's family.
What is this? Hunter videos himself on the beach showing how he lost his pants. This dude needs help, man.
She just asked if I wanted to take a walk.
Weird.
God.
This is the president's son, and they pretend like nothing's wrong with this guy. I mean, the email, the laptop alone, how is this guy is still out doing this type of stuff? He should be locked up.
Where are you going?
Okay, that's enough of that weirdo.
But
this, I want to play, but I'm not, because HBO really tight with their stuff. I'll get a strike for this and have to take the whole video down. But basically, Michael Moore was spewing all this his leftist bullcrap and how the Democrats are going to sweep and all this other false stuff. It's just it's bullcrap. And Bill Maher was like, just shut the F up, because he wanted to move on, and he kept dwelling on his lie. And I think even Bill Maher was like, okay, that's BS. So I'm gonna skip that one, because I don't want to get hit with HBO thing.
Okay.
Grabbing the arm of a student, asking him about gender. I haven't seen this one. Let's see what this is.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna skip that one. It said vice president, so I don't know. Is that an older one? Let's do one more.
By the way, it's all his fault that we're spending $6 billion in taxpayer money this month to help fight HIV/AIDS.
Wow.
I remember as a young
and sickening. It's like every week it seems that she compare Trump voters to some type of Nazi or something like that. It seems like every week now. I don't know. They said she's not running, but I don't know. The way she's going around, I wouldn't doubt it. And now her foundation is back up and running again. Her corrupt foundation, which stole millions of dollars from Haiti and getting these kickbacks and stuff. Because I think they're planning on her getting back into the race.
Student, trying to figure out how did people get basically drawn in by Hitler? How did that happen? And I'd watch newsreels and I'd see this guy standing up there ranting and raving, and
she was like, "Yeah, how does that happen? So I can emulate that." That's why she's been studying it.
People shouting and raising their arms. I thought, what's happened to these people? Why did they believe that? You saw the rally in Ohio the other night. Trump is there ranting and raving for more than an hour, and you have these rows of young men with their arms raised.
It's not only modern monetary theory.
Let's see. Modern monetary theory was a stupid idea, and low interest rates ruined the entire infrastructure of global finance. I agree with that.
It was never a good idea. It was a stupid idea, and we're seeing living proof of that. You can't print forever and think you can get away with it. Look at what the pound's doing. But I think if there's...
And that's the same thing that Ron Paul warned us about years upon years ago. He was like, you can't spend us out of this. You can't print money and get us out of this. And now we're living with the fruit that he warned us about.
There's a lesson to be learned here. It's the fact that central bankers in general and governments in particular have this unique relationship that we need to find a way to separate. And it isn't necessarily a political relationship. It's an enabling relationship. They are enablers. By these low interest rates and hanging out at zero for so long, they allowed governments to do anything. They allowed companies to remain that should have died. They ruined the entire infrastructure of global finance. And to think that it's going to come together easily, or if central banks have any plan, there is no way to put this Humpty Dumpty back together.
And that's the main thing. There is absolutely no plan. The central banks has no plan. Everything they come up with is doing the exact opposite of what they say they want to do. Inflation is still going crazy. Cost of everything is going up, and I don't see any end in sight right now.
Needs to be lots of financial destruction first, and from that, the Arizona will rise. The best fertilizer for the global economy right now is for all of these issues, whether it's foreign exchange, government debt, corporates, all of these financial instruments have to be pushed down to some level that represents true risk to value returns versus the pie in the sky valuations and returns that many were getting with virtually no risk.
Smoke and mirrors. All right, what's this? January 6th committee member Jamie Raskin claims he doesn't know who Ray Epps is. This is crazy. This is nuts. Why are they protecting this guy so much? And he was Ray Epps is one of the main people that was causing, the destruction and stuff. Some of the destruction that went on during January 6th, and that's why people believe that he's actual Fed. He the one that got people riled up to do some stuff.
Myself and 3 members of this committee, Chip Roy, Ken Buck, and Tom McClintock, issued a statement urging people not to come here, to accept the results of the electors. And so today I don't have an ideological axe to grind either. I find it odd that you all are defending one of the people who assaulted the Capitol.
Defending who?
Ray Epps.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
That's the resolution.
Okay, well, I'll reclaim my time here. The GOP side has...
we missed you. Thank you. These last 4 years. Did you miss you? Did you ever look at something going on in the news and go, there's a whole bunch of stuff you don't actually have?
This is sad. But I had like a month ago or 2 months ago, I was trolling on Facebook, and I was talking about how this guy's senile, and they were like, "Oh, you know he's senile. What proof do you have?" And so I showed I sent all these video clips and all this other stuff. Now it's no point in me even arguing. If you don't know that this guy has he doesn't have all his mental faculty, then I don't know what to tell you. Just look at this. Look, where do I go? Do I stay here? Where do I go?
Mr. President, thank you. At the end of such a...
He looks absolutely lost. He looks absolutely lost.
Momentous event. The word thank you seems kind of inadequate. But for all the millions whose lives will be saved, for the communities where life will be transformed, thank you. So thank you, President Biden, for your outstanding...
So you may have read that...
Tucker mocked Speechless Don, and we went over that already. So I won't spend too much time on
arriving on our shore...
The public school system was in crisis, and...
Fauci's tunnel vision wreaked havoc on our kids, and I totally agree with that.
Then COVID hit. And as fate would have it, Dr. Fauci took control, and some schools were closed down for as long as 2 years. This destroyed a generation of children. Does Fauci have any regrets?
But in retrospect, Doctor, do you regret that it went too far? Whatever your original intentions were, and it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback here, but that it went too far, that particularly for kids who couldn't go to school except remotely, that it's forever damaged them.
Well, I don't think it's forever irreparably damaged.
See, look at this. See, people like him are arrogant. They never admit when they're wrong. On one hand, I admit when I'm wrong. I have no issues with admitting when I'm wrong. No one is right 100% of the time. But people like him are narcissists, and they refuse to admit when they're wrong. He just refused to admit it. Look.
Anyone.
Isolating school children for 2 years during their most critical time of their development stunts them socially, psychologically, academically, emotionally. Irreparable damage was done.
And he will not admit to that damage that was done, that was caused by him. And then when he was challenged on it, he was like, oh, well, I don't make the ultimate decision. There's a panel and all this other stuff. But he's full of crap.
Not to mention the rash of suicides, overdoses, and abuse that took place. But get this, a month later, Dr. Fauci said, you know what? I actually knew this was going to hurt kids, but I did it anyway.
When you're dealing with a situation where the hospitals were being overrun in New York, you have to do something that's rather draconian. And sometimes when you do draconian things, it has collateral negative consequences. When you shut things down, even temporarily, it does have deleterious consequences on the economy, on the school children.
Fauci's tunnel vision wreaked havoc on our kids. All he cared about was getting cases to zero and getting vax rates to 100%, neither of which was ever going to happen.
He want to get them jab rates up because he get that money. He get some of that money. Sickening.
And the collateral damage was astronomical. He hurt our kids so older libs could feel safe from a virus that had a high 90% survival rate. But don't worry, he'd do it again.
We've talked a lot about learning loss in Texas. There were a bunch of other consequences of closing the schools down. Were they worth it, I guess, knowing what you know?
Yeah, I believe so for a number of reasons.
He still will not admit it. He still, to this day, will not admit it, that it was a mistake.
These families should...
Even though we got several studies, tons of studies, I've covered it on my Patreon before, that shows that lockdowns didn't help anything. And he's still saying, well, he's still not apologizing and saying maybe we shouldn't have done it.
Should file a class action lawsuit against Fauci for child abuse.
Yes.
Now, Avenatti turned it around on Carlson like this. Why is it?
CNN Stelter touts creepy lawyer as serious. All right, so that's it. That's all I'm gonna go over for videos there. But let's see if we got any more news headlines that came out since we first started. Anything new that might have happened since I started this. Let's check out these. Check out some podcasts. Check out some headlines here. We got Gateway Pundit. Biden slip up and finally agrees with Republicans about necessity of AR-15s. So yeah, let's check this out. Let's see. Trump says 9 words everyone wanted to hear, met with thunderous applause. He alluded to running. I don't think he actually said he was going to run. But let's check this out really quick. It's not often that I agree with our current president, but it does happen. Of course, most of those agreements happen when he says something by mistake, as he did Friday. President Joe Biden conceded accidentally, of course, an argument that pro-Second Amendment conservatives have been making for decades. So-called assault weapons defend American lives. So let's check. Let's see. Where's the actual video of him saying it? Here we go.
It's time to pass the assault weapons ban. Look, I support the Second Amendment. I have 2 shotguns. The only thing I've ever really do is really target practice. I haven't done that in a long time. But here's the thing. There's no justification for a weapon of war. None. The speed of that bullet is 5 times that comes out of the muzzle of most weapons. It can penetrate your vest. By the way, as I pointed out when I got it passed the first time as a senator, in Delaware, we're a big gun-owning state. A lot of duck hunters, a lot of hunters. And I'd be going, and I literally went up and down the streams campaigning and going to the people who were who belonged to the NRA and others. And I'd say, how many deer out here are wearing Kevlar vests? No, but I'm seriously.
The Second Amendment has nothing to do with hunting. It's about defense. It's about self-defense and nothing to do with hunting. They keep bringing up that dumb hunting argument. But when you get I mean, look at what's going on in these big cities. People wish they had guns to protect and defend themselves against these criminals that's running our streets right now under Biden administration. All right, let's see what else we got going on. I didn't actually see him make the mistake, but Biden's former press secretary Jen Psaki says if midterms are a referendum, we went over that. Democrats' mouthpiece say MAGA wants to destroy country and Joe Biden wants to reach across the aisle. Yeah, I mean they just say stuff that's not based in reality. Washington Post columnist calls for end of impartiality and balance in journalism. Pfizer CEO has the stupid. We talked about that. West Point turns over 40 plus pages of mostly blacked out CRT emails. North Korea fires ballistic missile ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris visits the South. Let's see. Jab mandate rule invalid for New York Police Association members. In Texas, governor race, Republican Abbott leads O'Rourke by 7 points, poll shows. I'm surprised it's not more. Mano a mano, House GOP leader challenges Biden to primetime debate, but says he'll probably hide. Come on, Biden will never debate. He can barely figure out where to walk off stage. Urban crime, inflation crushing small businesses, warn Job Creators Network. So let's I will go over that. That's very, very important, I believe. All right. So crime, inflation, and supply chain shortages are hammering urban small businesses, especially those that are minority owned, warned a spokesperson for a small business advocacy group. And it always hurt minorities the most. Citing a poll commissioned by the Job Creation Network showing that 65% of small business owners are, quote, very concerned about crime for their small business. Elaine Parker, chief communications officer for the nonprofit, said that number jumps to a staggering 85% when you look at just minority small business owners. And that's because they're typically located in cities, so they are subject to more crime as a result. And I don't know if y'all seen that video. Maybe I'll see if I can find it. Where they were what store was it? I cannot remember which store it was. Oh, it was a Wawa. When a bunch of people in urban Philadelphia, it was a bunch of black people, a bunch of our brothers and sisters were just ran into this Wawa and destroyed the place. They were taking stuff, they were destroying the stuff, and this is what most of our inner cities look like right now under Joe Biden, under the Democrat-ran cities. Well, while big corporations such as Walgreens, Starbucks, and Target have made headlines for leaving big cities as a result of crime, the impact on small business owners have been even more severe, Parker explained. Quote, major companies are speaking out about crime, and that's why they get headlines, Parker said in an interview on John Solomon Reports podcast. But think about the small business. Let's say McDonald's closes 6 stores in Chicago. But what about the guy or the gal who owns a pizza parlor in downtown Chicago and continues to get hit by crime and has to close? That's their only location. They're done. They're out of business. McDonald's is going to go on. They got thousands of locations around the country. Making matters worse, the small business now under siege from exploding urban crime were already reeling from forced shutdowns during the pandemic, followed by an inflationary spiral unleashed by unconstrained federal spending. Again, I keep quoting the great Ron Paul. He always, it's a great quote. We don't have a taxing problem. We have a government spending problem. And that's the issue. The government is spending out of control. But for the last 2.5 years through the pandemic, they have really taken the brunt of all of this, said Parker. Coming out of the pandemic, they were faced with record inflation and high gas prices and labor shortages. So that's that. Let's see what else we got going on. Sorry, Liz, but an effort against Kari Lake in Arizona could backfire. Jill Biden wears a trash bag in meeting with Pakistan Prime Minister. Let's see what else we got going on here. MAGA Republicans seek to destroy the United States of America, senior Biden advisor claim. This is just nonsense. Biden approval rating sinks below 40%, signaling potential reversal of a political comeback. And that political comeback stuff was just a narrative that they were pushing to try to excite people on the left. It's false. There is no comeback. It's going to be a red wave. The only way this wave does not happen is if they do some fraudulent stuff that I can't really speak on right now. If you want to hear about that, you could subscribe to me on Patreon, where I get into stuff like this that I can't talk about here on YouTube. But let's see. More than half of Democrats don't want Biden as 2024 nominee, except for Donna Brazile. She said she's rocking with Biden, whatever that means. Atlanta Fed chief, U.S. economy needs to feel the pain of recession now to avoid deep, deep pain later. Elon Musk announces he's activating Starlink internet in Iran amid protests. Well, where's Starlink? I know people are waiting here for Starlink. What's going on with people getting it here? Biggest, best gift I've ever received. Carrie Lake reacts to Liz Cheney vow to campaign against her. NASCAR driver punches opponent through window during race. Jake Sullivan dodges question whether Iran protests will jeopardize nuclear deal. Let's see what else we got going on here. Washington Examiner. The Federalist, Jake Tapper moved to primetime CNN. Catholic Church already fully endorsed GOP abortion bill that Biden says is too strict for Catholic Church. Let's see what else we got going on here. PJ Media. If democracy is threatened by MAGA Republicans, why are Democrats boosting them in GOP primaries? That's a great question. Biden abysmal job approval on inflation and the economy may yet hand Republicans a massive victory. CNN to be sold to Fox News. That would be hilarious. That would never happen. Let me see what this is about. That would be hilarious. Angelo Caruso. I'm sorry, I'm messing your name up, Angelo. The president and CEO of left-wing media watchdog site Media Matters expressed a fear to Sirius XM host Dean Abdallah. Caruso is worried about the potential for CNN under the leadership of new chief executive officer Chris Light to be taken over by Fox News owner Rupert Murdoch. CNN is in the middle of a shakeup right now, and between the loss of leadership and the firing of longtime anchors, the future doesn't look particularly bright for the former undisputed champion of cable news. Quote, thing I really am afraid of is that they sell to Rupert Murdoch, Caruso said. I'm terrified of this. It is super. It is his white whale, and I think that it doesn't fit into Discovery's portfolio in a meaningful way. I've always been afraid of this, and the posture of making the platform more appealing, more attractive, more neutral, I think weakens it enough that they say, look, it's just not worth it. So my question is, what is the problem with it being a neutral news radio, cable news? What is wrong with being neutral? I don't get that. They're afraid that people will start finding out that a lot of the stuff that the left is pushing is fake. That's why they're afraid of CNN becoming neutral. All right, let's see what else we got going on. Free Beacon, the Humanities, Cleveland Rocks, all news that gives you fit. Let's see. Climate hawk Shaw Hastings flew 6,000 miles, stayed in luxurious European hotels to fight global warming. Again, more leftist hypocrisy. They want to tax you for global warming. It's good for the environment. Give me your money. And all the while, they're flying around on private jets and have all these mansions and all this other stuff. It's okay for them. All right, let's see. WorldNet Daily, Texas Sheriff. We have government promoting the movement of slaves. Major city weighs tent to house migrants in shelters. Russian state TV tells viewers nuclear war is likely. German producers warn of food shortages. Massive fire erupts at world's second largest wholesale food market in Paris. It's crazy that these places are all catching on fire. Let's see. Kamala Harris suggests you don't have to change your faith to agree with Democrats on abortion. Yes, you do. Because abortion is totally anti-biblical. You can't call yourself a Christian and then be for abortion. Those two things do not equate. You can't do it. You can't do it. Life is precious. And the Bible speaks to that. Let's see. Google CEO says employees shouldn't equate fun with money. Market turbulence, inflation, geopolitical uncertainty prompts dip in fintech investment. We talked about the economy to ad nauseum already. Let's see. New York Post runners retrace fallen heroes. What time will episode 6 House of Dragons? I haven't even watched that show, House of Dragons. Let's see. Anything else going on here? Echo Warrior. Let's see. Anything else interesting in the news here? Post-millennial, New York City ordered to reinstate all cops fired over vaccine mandate. That is big news. Big news. All right. So let's see what this is about. This is from the Post-millennial. Wow. All right. So a Manhattan Supreme Court judge ruled on Friday that cops who were fired because of the city's COVID vaccine mandate had to be reinstated. According to the New York Post, Manhattan Supreme Court Justice Lyle Frank said the city's jab mandate was invalid, quote, to the extent it has been used to impose a new condition of employment for the members of the Police Benevolent Association, the largest union in which NYC police belong. PBA President Pat Lynch said, quote, this decision confirms what we have said from the start. The jab mandate was an improper infringement on members' right to make personal medical decisions in consultation with their own healthcare professionals. To be unequivocally clear, the court does not deny that at the time it was issued, the jab mandate was appropriate and lawful, Judge Frank said in his ruling. Rather, the judge said the issue at hand was the legal basis or lawful authority for the DOH, Department of Health, to exclude employees from the workplace and impose any other adverse employment action as an appropriate enforcement mechanism of the jab mandate. The ruling made clear that the mandate was wrong because its enforcement went past monetary sanctions. The New York City Department of Mental Health and Hygiene tried to enforce the city's stupid jab mandate through multiple means, including unpaid leaves, suspension, and terminating employees who did not get the shot. It's just ridiculous that they would do that. And now look at crime in New York because of this. It's one of the reasons why crime is so bad in New York right now is because they don't have the police officers. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Daily Signal, the Center for Energy, Climate, and Environment briefings. The wrong way to respond to high gas prices, from federal gas tax holiday to price gouging claims. What goes into gas prices at the pump? Lessons from across the oil company. 9 policy objectives to unleash domestic oil production. They got a lot of stuff on oil for some reason on the Daily Signal. Let's see. National Review. Voters widely favor GOP candidate in competitive House districts. Liz Cheney says she will leave GOP if Trump wins the Leave! We don't want you, Liz. So why are you still here in the first place? We don't want you. You got voted out in the first place. Nobody wants you. Democrats crying voter suppression should look in the mirror. Let's see what else we got going on here. Market Watch. Real clear politics here. The National Post. Pfizer won't share stupid vaccine with independent researchers. Why wouldn't they share this? This should be something that should be shared. If it's as good as you say it is, if you stand by what you're giving people, why won't you share this? All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Congress to spend $62 million plus demolishing monuments, including world-renowned Jewish American artist gravesite. All right. So let's see what's going on Twitter really quick before we end today. Let's just see if any news headlines or anything of importance is going on in the Twitter world. All right. Got Eric July. That's awesome that they're closing on $3.7 million for him and his project with his Unwoke project, which I love. His comic book, which is really good. I'm glad that you could be crowdfunded like that. People will back independent people like him. Let's see. Gorka retweeted. Imagine going to Quantico so you can pull your guns in front of your kids to arrest a pro-life activist who shoved an abusive abortion protester, verbally abusing his son. I agree with that. I'm going to heart that. Absolutely. Trump, he said, we're going to drain the damn swamp. And I'll tell you, I did a hell of a job, but that sucker is deep. That's deep. Yeah, I agree. It is deep. Let's play this really quick.
This November, the American people are going to show this repulsive political class exactly what we think of their lies, their witch hunts, and the corruption by voting in overwhelming numbers to throw them the hell out of office, starting with this disgusting human being, Letitia Peekaboo James. We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to save our country. We are going to drain that damn swamp, and I'll tell you, I did a hell of a job. But that sucker is deep. It's deep. It's deep. They're bad people. They happen to be bad people.
He called her Peekaboo. He is great at giving people nicknames. He is the best at giving people nicknames. That's funny. I used to pride myself on that back in the day, giving people nicknames, but I think Trump got me beat. Let's see. Registered Democrats are sick of the radical left, and some are switching sides. Look at all these people switching sides here. Plane crash in residential New Jersey neighborhood. 2 people died. That's unfortunate. GOP leader McCarthy unveils commitment to America. The propagandists don't even respect the sheep enough to craft a decent lie. Let's see. So this is the New Republic. Why the Biden economy is better than you think. Oh my gosh. No one believes this. No one that actually lives outside of their bubble actually believes this. Let's see. What else we got here? Eliza. I love edgelords, but not all the time. I don't know what she's talking about there. I mean, Dharma was gay. Let's see. This is not the representation we're looking for. Netflix is slammed by disgusted and Godsmack viewers after adding LGBTQ tag to Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, he was though. Why are they? It's not an indictment on their home community because of one idiot. I mean, why would you get offended by this? People are so soft these days. Let's see. TED Talks. Talking about fear. Let's see. Franklin Graham. Let's see. Let's see. Hungary says they will have the best ever relationship with President Trump in second term. Disgraced former Fox host with low rating attacked Trump in desperate attempt to stay relevant. That's right. Nobody's paying attention to this dude. Let's see. What we got here? President Biden, he tweeted out, "It's time we ban assault weapons in this country." And then Schrodinger assault ban says, tweeting to ban assault weapons while simultaneously sending citizens of another country assault weapons to protect their own freedom. I agree. The hypocrisy. More hypocrisy. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Do you women realize they don't even know 1% of men? I don't get that. Let's see. Former FBI agent Mike Schraffen. He said, the demand for white supremacy vast outstrips the supply of white supremacy. And the FBI's playbook when it comes to counterterrorism investigations is always and unequivocally moral equivalent to entrapment. And I agree with that. Again, the FBI need to be disbanded. What else we got here? Let's see. What is this here? The left, for real. Calvin Robinson is a sensationalist contrarian. No one is suggesting we abolish the family. Yes, they do suggest that. We know that people like BLM, before they removed it from the website because people called them out on it, they actually said they wanted to abolish the family. So what are you talking about? And that's, look, they tweeted out right here. Red love for all. Family is a terrible way to satisfy our desire for love, and so, they don't even know what they really believe. That's the hard part. That's the bad part about it. They don't even know what they believe. You have to show them what their actual ideology pushes. Let's see. Stage a star. He said America first is in rhetoric or actual outcomes. I don't know. Let's see. Madam Anti-Federalist, it's a talking point people fell for again. They want someone else to save them over protecting their liberty for themselves. I agree. America first. I agree with that. Let's see. Political prosecution of Julian Assange. I can't believe what they did to this man. Well, actually, I can. I can't believe what they did to Julian Assange. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton and her ilk, and look what they doing to people on the right. Look how someone was defending their son, and then a year later get house busted down by 25 to 30 FBI agents. Let's see. What else we got going on here? Well, shout out Pop Hotep. He said, let's see, multiple sources confirm Celtics female staffer affair with Celtics. Has she been disciplined? Okay, whatever. Oh, yeah. That's a great question. That's a great question, Pop. Shout out to the Hoteps. If y'all don't know who the Hoteps are, I suggest y'all do y'all research and look it up. Google the Hoteps on YouTube. You got Hotep Jesus, who does great work. Hotep Jesus been on Fox News. He's been on Alex Jones show, a whole host of stuff. Hotep Jesus is doing his thing. Shout out to him. And Uncle Hotep, I'm more like Uncle Hotep. I like keeping to myself. You would never see me on like Fox News or anything like that. Shout out to Uncle Hotep as well. Follow them if y'all not following them, because they put out some great stuff and they're very funny, especially on Thursdays. Hotep Been Told You on Thursdays is great, so check that out. Shout out to them. Let's see what we got here. Mrna, she tweeted out, "This is not." Oh yeah. A lot of people are talking about this. Let's see what else we got going on. TDS patient zero. Absolutely, that is exactly. Liz Cheney, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure. So let's play this. I'm going
to do everything I can to make sure that Carrie Lake is not elected.
Evil woman, just like her father.
Does that include campaigning for Democrats if that's what it takes?
Yes.
It does. Okay.
Wow. Well, at least I'll give her one thing. At least she's admitting it. At least she's not hiding it anymore. We all knew that she's a rhino, and now she's actually she said, well, I might as well just let the cat out the bag now. Grampy Hotep, he retweeted Ron DeSantis. What up, Grampy? In preparation for Tropical Storm, Yana, I directed my FDOT to waive weight restrictions for commercial trucks to ensure ample fuel and resources are coming to Florida. We've also waived state requirement to ensure pharmaceuticals can prescribe 30-day emergency refills for medications. I love what DeSantis is doing. So let's see what else we got going on here. The scientists, who you are is down to your genes, and upbringing, but also a third overlooked factor, luck. It's true. It's true. It's been certain situations I've been placed in. I really wouldn't say luck. I think a lot of it has to do with God. I don't really believe in much of luck. Let's see here. Actually, coffee is Arabic. Let's see. The unbearable whiteness of coffee. See, this is what happened when you don't, much like the trade of slaves. And this is what happens when you don't know history. This is what happens when you don't know history. You write about dumb stuff like this. What is the unbearable whiteness of coffee? Idiots. This is what happened. This is our American education system at work. Let's see what we got here. Pop Hotep. All right. Record inflation gives business savvy new meaning. 30% off summer items. My goodness, stores are pulling out all the stops trying to keep up with inflation. It's sad. It's sad. I fear God and I don't fear nothing. Amen. I love this. I remember seeing this when he said this.
If you instill the fear of God, you eliminate the fear of anything else. I fear God, and I don't fear nothing else.
You fear God, you have much fewer fears in life. So if you're secular, that obviously isn't going to work. Although you could rationally, that's what I did, rationally adopt a religious outlook on life.
And that's why when the pandemic hit, people were so afraid and they were listening to government. And I was like one of the only people that was like, no, this ain't right. Maybe y'all shouldn't do this. Y'all should want to slow up on the jabs until more research comes out. I was the sensible one because I trusted in God. And people that don't trust in God, they have to trust in some particular thing like government. And that's why Marxism is anti-religious. That's why Marxists don't believe in religion, because they want your state to be God. And if you believe in God, there's no room for the state. So that's why, and that's what this thing is all about. But that being said, a lot of churches follow suit too. And the Bible talks about lukewarm churches and being careful about lukewarm churches. And we're seeing how the churches just went along with whatever government was saying.
Reason brings me to God, not emotions. That's why I call my commentary the Rational Bible. I have no compunctions about saying, if you find what I say on this fireside chat meaningful, I can tell you it's life-changing, the work that I've written.
I fear God, and I don't fear nothing else.
Amen. And I love Dennis Prager. He does great work. If y'all are not following him, I suggest y'all follow him. All right, let's eject Prostobic. Statement from Doug. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. CEO tells Rashida to leave to her face that her politics will lead America down the road to hell. Amen. Let's see what else we got going on here. More sports. Rhino Lisa Murkowski gets bad news as her opponent locks in major endorsement. Beto O'Rourke blames President Biden for more Texas Hispanics voting GOP. Wow. So he has to throw Biden under the bus. He know he has no way. He can't run with Biden. He can't run on Biden. I'm hoping Biden shows up to Texas on O'Rourke's behalf, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right, let's see what else we got going on here in the Twitter world. Let's see what's trending. Oh, Ray Epps is trending right now. Ray Epps is the key to January 6th, which is why Democrats don't want you talking about him. Everything they told you was a lie, and I agree. And that is a great point. I'm gonna go ahead and retweet that because that is an awesome point. That's why they pretend like they were like Ray who? We went over that video. We watched that video where the congressman was like, "Who? I don't even know who that is." They're lying. They know who he is. That's why they have to pretend they don't know. You know who else helped push that sign? Ray Epps. I wonder when he'll be charged with felon assault with a dangerous weapon. All right, let's see what else is trending here. We got 87 IRS. You know, I talked about that when it first came out. 87,000 IRS agents to go after dudes who buried their ex-wife on a golf course for the tax break. Maybe to ward off 87,000 IRS agents attacking American citizens. So they posted, Biden, what in God's name do you need an assault weapon for? Ask the founders, tyrant. Absolutely. Absolutely. What else we got here? More on the agents, the 87,000 agents. All right. Let's see. Some of the latest trending stuff. What we got here? Oops. Let's see. All right. Oops. What am I doing here? Let's go back here. Let's go back to trending. Let's see what else is trending. You know it's going to be a lot of football stuff. High scoring game here. Baltimore Ravens and New England. Wow. 37-26. That is crazy. They had no defense. Let's see. The FBI agent thing is trending. We talked about that. I don't know why 6ix9ine is trending, but I could care less. Nova Scotia is trending. Ukraine. Lord Trump is trending. Sativa. I wonder why Sativa is trending. Let's check this out. We all know I'm an advocate of marijuana. It's good for stress relievers. Again, it's not great for everyone. It has to be. It's different for everyone. It affects people differently. But for the most part, it helps relieve stress. Let's see. And other mental health stuff. But if you're like schizophrenic, it wouldn't be good for you. So really, it depends on the individual, I would say. Let's see. I'm more or less like hybrids. It's pretty funny. Well, I don't know why it's actually trending. Okay, what else we got going on? Dr. Fauci is trending. What else we got going on here? What else? All right. Let's see. Trending. Let's try this. Amsterdam movie. I don't know what that's about. Rihanna's trending right now in music. It's going to be a lot of sports stuff, of course, because it's Sunday. Let's see. A lot of sports. Dan Campbell, Matt Collins. Yeah, a lot of sports stuff. Let's see. U.S. Let's go with news. See what's trending in the news. Chuck Todd. Wonder why Chuck Todd is trending. Let's see what this is about. Would anyone else like to see Nicole Wallace take over Meet the Press? A great idea. I thought Chuck Todd was supposed to be leaving anyway. Oh, that's why he's trending, because he got his own show now. The political media is so broken. There are no legitimate reasons to impeach President Biden. What? Chuck Todd letting this go with no pushback. Oh, yeah, right. All right, so that's Chuck Todd. Let's see what else we got going on. All right. Yeah, I think that is it. Let me pull out one more little tidbit of news I want to check with you guys before we go. Let me see. I'm gonna pull it up on my other screen, and then I'll drag it over. All right, let's see here. Let's take a look at one of my favorite websites. I've been using. It's called Liberty Daily. They're the alternative to the Drudge Report, and they do really good work over here. Let's see. All right. All right, so here we go. Here, Kari Lake drops the hammer on Liz Cheney after pathetic attack. So let's go ahead and check this out. All right. So, despite proclamations from the media that Liz Cheney platform would be larger than ever after she got blasted in Wyoming's Republican primary, that hasn't really materialized. Instead, Cheney has been completely marginalized to ranting at obscure conferences and posting fan fiction on the January 6th Twitter account. Who could have possibly seen that coming? But I disagree. Cheney was speaking to the Texas Tribune for reasons unknown on Saturday and decided to completely beclown herself. She went after Kari Lake, again ranting about election deniers. She then went on to attack Governor Glenn Youngkin, as well as proclaiming that he crossed the line in campaigning with Lake. Cheney appears to still be living in a fantasy land where she's influential and has a say in what our party does or does not do. I have news for her, though. She is not a Republican any longer. You don't get to join arms with Nancy Pelosi, Jamie Raskin, and Adam Schiff and still claim to have the best interests of the GOP in mind. Cheney is a Democrat who wants to run a scam presidential campaign in 2024. That's the only reason she hasn't made it official yet. So let me see. I want to see if there's a video. There's not a video. Here we go. Let's see. Cheney. Okay. Attacking Youngkin fully exposes that he's a mainstream Republican in just about every phase. I love Youngkin. He's out of Virginia. It is part of his job to support his fellow Republicans in gubernatorial races. It's to his credit that he's mature enough to brush aside whatever disagreements may exist to help Lake in her pursuit of victory. Cheney, on the other hand, is a pathetic, petty person who would rather see Americans suffer as they are doing now under Democrat rule than to let go of her vendetta. So let me see. Let me see if I can if there's a video to this. All right, let's see. So here's the video here. I think we saw this video already.
I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that Kari Lake is not.
Yeah, I'm looking for Kari Lake's retort, though. That's what I'm looking for. Where's her retort? I don't see her retort. Or maybe it's this here. Let's see. I don't see her retort. Partnership has to have a limit. There's oh well. All right. Let's see if anything else pressing going on right now. We talked about Nancy Pelosi being booed. U.S. PSYOPs exposed. Washington isn't concerned about morals. It's worried about getting caught. All right. There is one more thing I would like to check out. So let's check out. Let's see if I can find it. Let's do some more videos. Let's do some more video reactions really quick. I'll give it another 10 minutes to make it around 2 hours here. Let's see. Newsbusters. Oh, here we go. MRC TV. All right. What else? What do we got here? What videos do we have here we can watch? Heart doctor proves Stacey Abrams is wrong about manufactured fetal. I think we went over that already. Biden border crisis just hit record smashing highs. Video David Limbaugh and James Golden, aka Bo Snerdley, honor rush 35th anniversary. Let's see. Gorka says President Trump is running in 2024. Don Cheadle jokes that Trump has dumb dementia. That's not even clever. Planned Parenthood quietly scrubs website of fetal heartbeat facts. We talked about that. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. Let's check out Newsbusters. Newsbusters are normally pretty good. All right, Newsbusters here. NBC Chuck Todd bring in more migrants to solve inflation. I mean, this is just nonsensical. But let's check this out. Multi-millionaire Chuck Todd. Multi-millionaire Chuck Todd has never lived in the real world, and he made it painfully obvious that he's oblivious to how the economy works during Sunday's edition of Meet the Press on NBC. During his data download segment, Todd promised to explain why immigrants crossing the border could actually be a solution to our inflation problem. Again, this is nonsense. So let's listen to what he has to say.
When we come back, I'm going to show you a new way to look at the immigration debate, why immigrants crossing the border could actually be a solution to our inflation problem. Over the last few weeks, Republican governors have been shipping asylum seekers to more liberal-leaning Democratic enclaves, trying to send the message that they think migrants...
Hold on a sec. I mean... I can't believe they gave this dude his own show. Well, actually, I can. I can't believe that. Hold on one second. Let me. Accidentally exited out my YouTube studio, and when I go in, it will mess up my video. So that's why I'm pausing it right now while I get this together really quick. Okay, we're good to go. All right.
Immigrants are a political problem for Democrats. But in fact, some data shows us that more migrants could actually help solve one of the country's most pressing problems. Let me show you the issue we've been with. Even before the pandemic, migration in the United States had been slowing. We started the last decade at almost...
Really quick. I'm sorry I missed the message. Spirited Woman said, so nice to see you, JJ. Never get notifications for live streams anymore. You showed up on the sidebar. Much love. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a lot of complaints about the alarm not really working. I'm sorry about that. Maybe I'll put together something where I can automatically send y'all something when I go live, because YouTube isn't going to tell anyone, unfortunately. But thank you for that. And sorry that I missed that. I don't know how long ago you sent that message.
700,000 migrants coming into this country in 2010. We hit a peak of just over 1 million in 2016 when Donald Trump got elected, and it dropped all the way down to 247,000 thanks to the pandemic. And you can see this labor force participation rate. It's been dropping. Pre-pandemic, we were at 63.4. We're still sitting at 62.4. 1 percentage point, by the way, represents 2.6 million people missing from this workforce. And guess where these workers are missing from? They're short 45,000 workers in Boston. They're short under 400,000 in New York. They're short 170,000 in Washington, D.C. Even Miami is short some 20,000 there. So the point is, these migrants could actually be helping our labor force problem, which would help our supply chain, which could help inflation.
Ridiculousness. Ridiculousness. How is that going to solve the crisis by hiring illegal immigrants? These people are not the brightest. There's no way, there's no way they believe their own bull crap. Let's see what else we got here. PBS humorist blames Reagan for increased American ignorance. Woke Patton Oswalt admits, one day I won't be woke enough for the left. I'm glad he knows this. Pat Oswalt is so woke, he fell for the biggest con of our age. The actor stand-up once praised Antifa, a thuggish outfit known for assaulting free speech. Oswalt compared Antifa to the Allied soldiers who walked into enemy fire on D-Day in World War II just to mock President Donald Trump. He's an idiot. He is an idiot. I'm 100% with you, Donald. Antifa has been horrible for so long. Here's some anti-fascists ruining. And he's ridiculous. Oswalt likely feasts on the diet of CNN, MSNBC, and other corrupt news outlets that refuse to tell Antifa full story. Still, praising the hateful group wasn't enough to stop the woke mob from pouncing and seizing on him for a critical error. He treated longtime friend Dave Chappelle like a longtime friend. Oswalt appeared on stage with Chappelle, a comedian targeted by the far left for telling jokes about the trans community. The social media mob torched Oswalt for supporting a longtime chum who tells the wrong kind of jokes. The episode ended with Oswalt throwing said friend under the bus in favor for a few dozen woke Twitter accounts. This is crazy. Now Oswalt laid a special amidst the obvious. He'll never be woke enough for far left. So let's look at this trailer.
Aging isn't bad if you don't take it personally. Pretend like you're Jeff Goldblum in The Fly and you're watching all this weird shit happen. You're like, oh my, get a leather-bound notebook, take notes late at night like, farts smell like old books. But I'm not eating old books. This calls for further examination. Hey, I broke my foot. Yeah, once you get past 50, everything's fatal. I went down in the most embarrassing way possible. I slipped off a curb like someone's aunt that saw a bird. That is how I went down. I'm limping.
This dude is unfunny. It's so unfunny. Leftist killed comedy. Well, they killed their comedy. They killed leftist comedy, I should say.
Across the street to my house, and then a car pulls up, and the driver rolls her window down and says, "You okay?" And I went, "Oh, I twisted my ankle. I live right here. I'm going inside." And then, and this haunts me, she said, "Well, don't give up." Wait, what? Holy shit! What was the look on my face? All right, he's gonna kill himself. Pull over. Pull over. Hey, don't give up. When I was in my 20s, I would walk into Propellers and put some Bactine on it. I was fine. And now if a pine cone falls near me, my spine implodes.
He didn't mention it in that clip. The Daily Beast via Yahoo shares how Oswald's new Netflix special reveals the ugly truth. No one is woke enough ever. Not even a progressive comic eager to throw friends aside at a moment's notice. Quote, "I'm woke, I think," Oswald tells the crowd, but you know what? I won't be someday. Be woke, be open-minded, just don't pat yourself on the back because it'll bite you in the ass. Oswald does predict that as he continues to age, he will inevitably fail to keep up with the progressive of society and risk getting canceled for expressing opinions that are no longer acceptable. See, this is the ridiculousness of the left, the ridiculousness of woke. They keep moving it. They keep moving it and moving it. And the more traditional you are, the more they feel that you are the enemy. And Oswald also casually threw another comedian podcast giant, Joe Rogan, under the same bus as Chappelle. The sweet Rogan, he says during the special, has gone off the rails. Why? Because CNN, MSNBC told him to think that way. Oswald probably cringes at Rogan suggesting we should be able to speak our minds, debate those whom we disagree, and worry that the CDC may not have the best advice on global pandemics. For that, the far left put a juicy target on Rogan's back, and Oswald, following his progressive marching orders, is only too happy to pile on. Perhaps when he's canceled, sooner or later, he'll join Rogan's Spotify podcast and share his side of the story. Rogan once said, "Patton, I love him to death." Chances are he'll forgive Oswald for the unkind words and embrace him like a brother. After all, that's what friends are for. And it's crazy that it has come to this, where now people are being attacked for their opinions. Just because you disagree with someone, now you consider it to be evil. You consider it to be the devil because you have a difference of opinion. You can't even have a friendly debate anymore with anyone from the left. They won't allow it. But it's crazy. But that's all I got for today. It's been a strong 2 hours. I wasn't even planning on being on this long, but it's been great. I'll be doing more of these live, so check it out. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. I can go live at any moment. And also check out my socials. Follow me on Instagram, where I put out a bunch of news throughout the day, short little stuff that'll keep you informed on what's going on. Subscribe to my Patreon, where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And check out democrepublics.com for the latest in news. I post articles there all the time. Until next time, peace.